Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Rednecks and Pigskins, Blood on the Gridiron. With me this week, Minding Freedom has returned. Minding, introduce yourself.
I don't know what to say.
Hi, I'm me. I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm German. That's my go-to line.
And also with me is my son, J-Kid. J-Kid, say hi.
Ah,
Ah. Yeah, we're not redneck at all. But
easy.
easy. So thanks to everybody for coming out for another episode. Uh, Randy Monkey might show up, but I think he's probably asleep again like last week. But we'll see as it goes along. Well, has anybody got any before we were asked last week to do a ranking of where we felt the teams were right now, which is really hard to tell in preseason, but we'll give it our best shot. Before we get into that, though, anybody got any news they want to cover? Anything that stood out this week in the NFL?
I wouldn't necessarily say stood out, but I think it's very interesting that the Dolphins got themselves a new linebacker with Ray Maraluga.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I just read it. It was like news from yesterday. They got themselves a veteran middle linebacker. Like that's a massive boost, I think, to their defense.
Yeah, yeah, they've been struggling a little bit there. Not nearly maybe to the point that the Colts have with their O line, but it hasn't been great.
I'm waiting to see. We'll see it twice this season. Hopefully, injuries and so on. But the battle, Ray Maualuga trying to read Tom Brady. I want to see that. I want to see that.
And I got him for the vet minimum, so that's a really strong pickup.
Yep.
Yeah.
They know what to do. They picked up Cutler, but
and because of that, Miami was one of. There was a few teams I had a hard time ranking in their division, and Miami was one of them. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Oh, excuse me. I'm really chugging down a coffee today, trying to wake up. All right. Is there any? Son, did you get anything you wanted to talk about? News? Anything stood out to you?
I've got nothing for this week. There's been like nothing going on at all.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened to me. I looked through the headlines, but nothing that like said talk about me. You know, I've watched a little bit of preseason this week, and there's a game coming on actually in an hour, which I'll turn on in the background when it comes on. But
there's a game going on right now.
Oh yeah, who's playing right now?
Panthers at Titans. It's already in the fourth and 27-27 right now.
Wow.
But the Titans are in the red zone now at the 3-yard line with a 1st and goal.
So not a whole lot of defense going on, doesn't sound like.
Yeah.
Either side. Yeah, it's my Colts play in a little under an hour. So.
Yeah, how'd that game go last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Lions and the Packers both play at the same time, half an hour later. So in about 90 minutes, a bit less.
Last week was pretty much as I expected. I mean, we've seen absolutely nothing from quarterback play. The O-line was...
Oh, that's not true. Hang on. We saw that Stafford was already in midseason form. He played one drive and threw an interception.
Yeah, we did see that.
Uh,
I meant on the Colts side, there was no quarterback play whatsoever. The O line was non-existent. It was just awful. Ugh. It was one of those games I sat here and had to keep reminding myself, this is just preseason. It's just preseason. Don't throw anything through the TV.
yeah, for the Packers, I started. What? Nah, I didn't start. My doubts manifested about. Well, wait a second. About Ty Montgomery being the workhorse running back. He fumbled the ball. You don't
Now,
want to see that in the first game.
is he
But,
their starting quarterback this year? Or running back,
what?
excuse me.
What again?
Is he their starting running back this year?
At least that's the plan now, but we'll see how that works out at the end of the preseason. But the Packers had 5 fumbles in this game.
5?
5.
Did they recover any of them?
3 of them, yeah. But to be fair, the Eagles also had 5 and also recovered 3 of them. So it was even.
Yeah, and one of those was from Blunt, who like never fumbles.
Well, like I said, it's preseason. It's going to be rough.
Yep.
The one thing I did see out about our game, the Lions had a couple of backups that didn't look too bad. The one that took, I can't remember names. My son knows I'm terrible with names. The one that took it looked like most of the snaps. He didn't look too bad. Whew. Other than that, it was ugly.
The only thing that really stood out with me with the Lions is we lost Kerry Hyder for the season.
Is he gone for the season?
Yeah. And that was our sack leader last year. So that hurts.
Yeah. That's I'll be honest, I only made it to about halftime. At halftime I said I can't watch anymore. I'm done. I've seen all I need to see. We suck. Not surprising with Andrew out. That's going to be the big question. Okay. Well, we were asked last week to do a ranking, or at least what, in our opinion, is how teams are going to be ranked. So we'll give it our best shot. I don't know if I'm sure you have some opinions on it there, Minding.
Of course.
But J Kid, I'm going to let you go ahead and start whatever division you want to, and I'll just follow and give you my thoughts.
I mean, considering you're a Colts fan, I assume we'll start with AFC South.
Okay.
I've got Houston taking that division. I think Houston and Tennessee fight it out for the worst record to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah. Probably.
I think 7 and 9 could make the playoffs out of the AFC South this year, which is sad to say. I think Indy takes third, and then Jacksonville stays where they're content in last place.
I would have to agree it's going to be a shootout between Houston and Tennessee. I would switch them. I think Tennessee's going to take it this year. And Colts, like you said, Colts third. And the poor Jaguars at the bottom, as usual. Because it's just... It takes a premier quarterback, even in that terrible league or terrible division, to win a lot of games, and they just don't. I really had hopes for Bortles when he come in the league, but he really hasn't lived up to them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that ranking the Titans winning the division, but I don't think 7-9 will be the record of the Titans. I think the Titans will definitely go on a winning record. To be fair, I even see them at about maybe 10-6, but at least 9-7. I think with Mariota, I think he's gonna step up this year. He's gonna have a really great season, trying to match what his draft mate Jameis Winston did last season. Like you still always compare those two. Like there's no way to not to.
Right.
So I think he's gonna step it up. The O-line for the Titans is great. Was great last season. Is great this season. So I think they're gonna be a team we really have to watch. I don't even necessarily think that the Titans will have the worst record of all AFC division winners. I see it might even be that the Steelers are weak this year, with Ben being the old guy that he is. AFC West overall might be too strong, and then there are those Patriots. But I think third seed for the Titans might be doable with a 10-6. That would be my guess. And then the Texans, Colts, and the dumpster fire that is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
My
only question about Tennessee, about Mariota in particular, is how he comes back from that broken leg. Because word is he's in his head. It kind of got in his head. So it depends a lot on how he comes back from that. I honestly, and Jay Kittle backed this up, I said when he come in, this kid's the real deal. He's going to make it. And I think he can, but I think this year it's going to depend a lot on how long it takes him to get that out of his head.
Yeah, but let him play. Let the season begin, and he's gonna have it out of his head as soon as that that first kickoff is in the air in the regular season.
You're probably right.
He knows how to get rid of stuff like that, how to make himself free of that. Like today, he had 6 out of 8 passes for 61 yards and a touchdown. Not the greatest line, but it's a start, and he's doing good, and I'm pretty sure he will have it out of his head as soon as week 1 arrives.
And they added a big piece for the Titans with Eric Decker.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was their problem last season. They didn't have a good, not even a good receiver, to be honest. and with Eric Decker, that he should be Mariota's favorite target this season. And with that O-line, they're gonna be pass heavy. Even though they still got DeMarco Murray in the backfield, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't miss anything there that he might have been gone. Okay. With DeMarco Murray in the backfield, it's a strong backfield. All of their offense is pretty strong. But with that O-line, with Eric Decker now as a receiver, maybe with what's his name? The tight end, Henry. No. Or wait, is it
Delaney Walker?
Yeah, but they have a Derrick Henry, I think, the second one, like the 2 tight end system they will play.
Derrick Henry.
I think that's what?
Derrick Henry's a running back.
But they have, damn it. Am I mixing something up completely now? they drafted a tight end last season, I think, that had to get into the league a little, but now he should be fine. Was that? Damn it! No, okay, no, I'm stupid. All right. I'm stupid.
All right. Not to
But
break
yeah, with
our
Delaney Walker being the veteran that he is, he should add something to it as well. And it's going to be fun for the Titans.
not to break our flow. We'll get right back to it. But Zenith X, a question, minding, do you get the games live over there, or do you get them?
Obviously, you can't watch all of them live, but I try to watch as many as possible live. Mostly, of course, the Packers for obvious reasons. I try to watch every Packer game live, but you know, not always possible.
So you do get them live over there, not pre-recorded.
Yeah, I mostly live, but we have what we have is well, first of all, I can get the Game Pass, but expensive as fuck. But we get 2 games per week, an early and an afternoon Sunday game. That's what we get for free on TV, and usually I watch those and then try to get the Packers game somehow if it's not one of those 2. But yeah, live, not pre-recorded anything.
All
right. So we've covered the AFC South. What division you got next, son?
The AFC East. Obviously, Patriots are on top. There's not going to be any arguing that. The rest of the 3, you kind of just look like names in a hat. I put Buffalo in second. I don't like the pickup of Cutler. I think Miami's in third in that division, and the Jets are on the bottom. I almost put the Jets ahead of Miami.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Obviously, the Patriots on top. I almost would have put, if their quarterback had not got hurt and they pull in Cutler, I might have even considered putting Miami above Buffalo, but no, I'm going to go with Buffalo and then Miami. I think the Jets are going to really blow this year.
Again, a little difference for me. I still, with Tannehill out, would put the Dolphins in second. I don't like the way Tyrod Taylor is playing. I didn't like to see, last year he played bad. I don't think he comes back any better. And I think Jay Cutler, I mean, we all know Jay Cutler. But yeah. I think personally the system in Miami should fit him more than Chicago ever did. And I think he could be since he just came in, this isn't the system designed for Cutler, and I think that's better, because if you design a system for Cutler, you're gonna design it around his strong arm. Right. Worst decision ever. Right. We all know how prone to errors his strong arm is. So what I think we're gonna see Miami similar to what the Vikings did with Bradford last year. Throw those check down passes, throw them. Nothing too fancy. Just do the basics, and they will get first down after first down after first down. I think the Dolphins are going to be better this year. The second, even without Tannehill, and the Bills in 3, and the Jets. If there was a 5th place in that division, they would get that.
If the Jets had a quarterback, they'd be okay. With Forte, you've got somebody you can kind of lean on. I know he's getting up there in age, but he's still a decent running back. They just don't have anybody at quarterback that can carry him, which is the only reason I didn't put them ahead of Miami.
I mean, the Jets are Like, what do you want to say about the Jets? Like, at this point, it's just, you just feel sorry for them. There's not much you can like. You could laugh at them, but then again, if you do that, if you laugh at the Jets, you'll laugh at an old lady who fell down the stairs.
That's a pretty good analogy.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
I mean, Hackenberg, McCown, and Petty. Ew. No.
That's it. They just need a quarterback.
Yeah.
And as an aside, I just heard from Monkey, he just lost everything he was doing on a video he was working on, so he's trying to get all that back. So he probably won't make it.
That's all right.
Yeah. We'll get him in here another day. So is that all we got to say about the East, AFC East?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to talk about there.
Yeah.
No. Patriots, and you pretty much got it covered.
Yeah. Patriots and the rest.
Yep.
There's just such a big gap between the Patriots and the rest of that division. I mean, what can you say?
I agree.
Okay. What? Where are we going next?
Going to the AFC North. I think Pittsburgh remains on top of the North. I don't think Baltimore puts up as big of a fight as they had in recent years, although I do think they still take second place. I think Cincinnati struggles a little bit, slip into third in that division, and then Cleveland remains where they always are.
Poor Cleveland. Poor Cleveland. Factory of sadness. Yeah, I pretty much agree with that assessment. Pittsburgh, and then Baltimore. Cincinnati probably third, although I think it's close between them and Baltimore. And then Cleveland takes up the basement.
Yeah, I also think Pittsburgh, of course they're going to be number one, but I think, like I said before, that Pittsburgh might actually be the worst division champion of all four in the AFC. Because, with Ben being older and I to be honest, I do like the coaching style of Mike Tomlin, but it's a bit overly aggressive maybe. He's still more brave than any other coach in the league right now, which I think is good, but it's too much. He's on the other side of where he should be than everyone with everyone else being too cautious. But he exaggerates too much, and I think that might hurt them a bit. I see the Bengals in second. They didn't really lose anyone apart from Mawaluga, but they also didn't get anyone, at least not in free agency. If you look at the draft, John Ross, the quick guy, Joe Mixon, controversial, but I think his ability on the field, they got a good running back there. So I think they're going to take second, the Ravens third, and the Cleveland Browns. Like, same as the Jets. Like, you don't want to hit them too hard.
If the talk is I'm sorry, go ahead.
I wish they just get a win before Christmas this year.
If the talk is accurate from what I'm hearing, Baltimore is interested in Ryan Matthews. If they sign Ryan Matthews, Bengals will take over the second spot in that division.
Yeah, it's a toss-up. That was one of them that was hard for me to figure out. Baltimore or Cincy. Close.
Ryan Matthews would be a detriment to the Ravens.
If I'm looking at their running backs, I'm not so sure. I mean, they got Denny Woodhead, but he's not running much. He's a passing back. He's a receiving back. He's not gonna run a lot. But he's gonna help Flacco an awful lot in the back from the backfield. But if you look at the rest, I mean, God, what? That's a clusterfuck. Javarius Allen, Kenneth Dixon. We're gonna leave that rookie out of there. Taquan Mizell. Fuck, I don't know who that is. Bobby Rainey, Lorenzo Taliaferro, and Terrence West.
Terrence West actually had a pretty decent season last year for him.
Yeah, I'm still not sold. I don't think that that picking up Ryan Matthews would be such a detriment to the Ravens. Maybe a bit, but I don't think it does get much worse. So like I said, I'm still I'm already with Cincy in second place and the Ravens in third. So even if they pick up Matthews, to me it's going to be the same.
Right.
All right. What's next?
Well, that only leaves the AFC West. I've got Oakland on top of the West. I think they have a good year this year, and then the rest of the other three for me were kind of tough.
Yeah.
I put Denver in second. I'm assuming Simeon is going to have a better year this year. I put Kansas City in third, and then I put San Diego on the bottom.
It's LA.
Not for me. It's not. It's still San Diego.
Okay.
He's boycotting. He told me earlier he's boycotting. He's not saying it. I would have to agree, although I think that I would switch your second and third. Raiders, I do believe, is going to be the top of that division. But I would switch your second and third and agree with the Chargers being at the bottom. Sorry, Monkey, if you listen to this later.
Okay, I want to start with the easiest here. Chargers in 4. And I'm not sorry. Monkey, if you're watching this anytime, I'm not sorry. And you know that the Chargers belong there.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Come on. The other 3 teams are just too good at this point. But the next easiest pick for me would be the Broncos in third. Because I still don't like their quarterback situation. Simeon, I don't see him play that well. And yeah, on the other hand, with the Chiefs, you have Alex Smith, the ultimate game manager. But then again, he manages the game, and I don't think that that Simeon is even able to do that. So I think the Broncos in 3, and like the Chiefs always have a strong defense, and just looking at Smith under center would be too easy for the Chiefs because they always come with their defense or through their defense that won them a lot of games in the last season and last seasons. So that's a tough one for me. But I think if you look at the Raiders defense, then on the other hand, you got to give Oakland the number 1.
Yeah, I was talking to J-Kid before the stream started that that division probably gave me the most fits figuring out, other than the top spot.
I think number 4 and number 3 are pretty easy.
Yeah. It's the two in the middle that are it's a tough.
I see the Chiefs way in front of the Broncos. To be honest, I think the Chiefs might have a chance at the division win, simply because of their defense. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Alex Smith is not going to do any wonders.
No,
he never did. So that's not the way they're going to go. But their defense has been strong for the last few years now. And I think it continues to be strong.
So you put
they might have it.
Put the Chiefs defense ahead of the Broncos defense?
Yeah. Yeah. Even though I gotta say, there's a German on the Broncos defense. Who actually, I think he's a starter now, an outside linebacker, opposite Von Miller. With God, what's his no, I forgot his name, damn it.
You're starting to sound like me now.
Oh God. Why do Kazim Idabali, yeah. Sounds very German as well. But I think he's from Hamburg. He was born in Hamburg. But yeah, I wish him all the best, but I don't see I think the Chiefs defense is the more, let's say, coherent unit, which is what you want to see in defense. You have a lot of star players on the Broncos defense with Von Miller, obviously, but also Chris Arizona keep Talib at corner, and yeah, sure, those names read nice, but you need a coherent unit. You need 11 people who can depend on each other, and I see that more with the Chiefs than the Broncos.
Cohesive.
Yeah, thank you. Not my native tongue.
That's all right. I understand.
But yeah, cohesive. Exactly.
I guarantee you speak English a whole lot better than we could speak German, which is zero.
But that's not a challenge. That's easy.
Okay, so I think that wraps it up for the AFC, right?
That is.
Where do we go with the NFC?
I guess we'll start with the NFC East. Yeah, this one is a little tough. I got Philadelphia taking the division. They've added some big pieces. As long as Carson Wentz continues to play well, I think they top that division. The suspension of Ezekiel Elliott, if it stands, hurts Dallas too much. I still have Dallas in second. I think they are able to withstand it enough to at least take second in that division. Washington, I've gotten third, and I've got the Giants on the bottom. The only thing I know that the Giants have done is they added Brandon Marshall, who is, in my opinion, more of a cancer than anything.
Yeah.
So I think the Giants take bottom spot, and Washington takes third.
I agree with your assessment, except for the bottom two. And no, it's not because I'm a Giants homer. I just have a feeling that and it's just based on what I'm looking at and just filling it out. I think the Redskins, I would flop the bottom two. I think Philadelphia definitely takes the top, Dallas second. Then I think it'd be the Giants, and then Washington. I think the gap between the Giants and Washington won't be that huge. So it's not that big of a thing for them to be interchangeable to me. I think they're both, in my mind, at the bottom of that division. But it's a tough one to call. It's always been a tough division, always.
Yeah, in German, I like to call them. I have to translate this. I like to call them the NFC topsy turvy. I hope you understand that.
Yeah.
I just looked it up in the dictionary. Like to me, every team has a 25% chance of being first, and every team has a 25% chance of being last.
Yeah.
So what I did was just put them all through a random generator, and I got the Redskins first.
Wow.
I'm gonna go through with this. Redskins first, Cowboys second, Giants third, Eagles fourth. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, anything could happen in this division, and we never know beforehand. We had last season with Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. Not many people had the Cowboys in first, and they went. Didn't they go 14-2 or something?
Oh yeah, sounds right.
No one expected that. So I don't know what's gonna happen, so I'm just gonna stick with what my random generator told me because this is completely unpredictable there.
I agree with the assessment that it is very much a toss-up, and it always is. Year to year to year, that division has been a tough division. I don't know that I'd agree with your lineup, but yeah, it's
I
a
want to
tough one
mix
to
it up a
call.
little, you know. I just want to mix it up a little.
Well, sure, it's no fun if we always all agree.
Yeah. But just no reason behind it. Just I got a random generator, and the generator told me that because it could be any result at the end of the season. It could be any. Like we could actually see something like what was it 2 seasons ago where the best team had like an 8-8 record
Yep.
or 9-7 or something. Or we could see like last season one team going out with 14-2 somehow.
Yeah, it's rare in that division to see somebody just pick up and pull away from the crowd like that. It's usually
especially over a few years. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be even a 10 win team this season.
okay.
I mean, even with
simply
last
because
year,
the other teams. What?
With Dallas running away, they actually went 13-3 last year, but even
yes.
then, they were only 2 games ahead of the Giants.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a tough one. All right, what you got next?
The NFC West. Not really that difficult, I don't think. You got Seattle taking the top spot, as they have been for the last few years. Arizona gives them a little bit of a fight, but not much. I got the Rams in third, and then San Fran bringing up the rear.
Yeah, I agree. The bottom two were a little bit difficult to me. It was kind of a toss up. I would I think I would put the Niners at the bottom and the Rams in third, and certainly agree with the top 2 picks.
Yeah, same for me with the first 2 picks. Seattle's going to take it as always. Arizona is not going to put up any fight, I think, but they're going to be a secure second. Like secure, like they will not compete with the Seahawks at all, but also they will be easily in front of the other 2. But I see the 49ers ahead of the Rams simply because I think the new duo that took the reins in San Francisco with Lynch and Shanahan, I think they're going to put up some good work in the first season. And they might go, I don't know, 5'11", 6'10", maybe even, and they're going to be better than the Rams. So the Rams are they're a sorry team.
They are.
So I even think that the Rams might not be the best team in LA this season.
Oh no.
And I think this is something that Monkey should enjoy to hear. But I think the 49ers take that third spot and the Rams fourth.
I think the Rams defense will be strong enough to carry them to third place in that division. And they have Brian Hoyer, I believe, starting for the 49ers. And while serviceable, I don't think he plays well enough to get him into that third spot.
Did you see him play last season for the Bears while he was not injured?
I saw some of his games.
Yeah.
He was damn good.
But he's not consistent.
Yeah, but I think it will be enough to get them to like 5-11.
Yeah.
You just got to win a third of your games to go 5, almost not even a third of your games to go 5-11. I think he can do that.
Yeah, Hoyer's one of those quarterbacks that it just depends on which Hoyer shows up that week.
Yeah,
he can play like gangbusters and then turn around and just totally stink up the place.
Yeah,
that might be a product of the Bears too, though. So
That's true. That's
Yep.
That's
Very
true.
much.
We here in our region we do get quite a few Bears games. So
Oh, I'm sorry for that.
okay.
No one should suffer through that.
Go ahead.
Before we move on from this division,
Yep.
you said Arizona will not put up any fight. If David Johnson can stay healthy, Arizona will put up a fight. That was what hurt them last year. Is he got injured and it killed them.
It's still it's a passing league, you know. You have a David Johnson who can receive a good few balls from the backfield, or out of the backfield, but Carson Palmer, really?
Brian Hoyer, really?
I'm not saying that Brian Hoyer is gonna lift the Niners in front of the Cardinals. I never said that.
I warned you, Minding. I warned you.
So all I did was say that with the 49ers and with Hoyer under center, they're gonna be better than last season. Last season, we all remember with with Mr. Unemployed. And I don't know where Blaine Gabbert ever went now, where he is now. I don't care. But you had two quarterbacks. No. I have to rephrase that. You had two excuses for quarterbacks.
Didn't Blaine play in the Hall of Fame game?
Yeah, Blaine plays for the Cardinals.
Yep.
Okay. As backup then for Palmer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you have Carson Palmer, and if Palmer gets injured, you have Blaine Gabbert. Ooh, I'm shaking right now.
I hear you, but he actually played.
Palmer's not frightening, and neither is Gabbert. So they're not going to put up a fight against Russell Wilson and that defense of the Seahawks.
What about the Arizona defense?
Yeah, comparable to Seattle, but then you got the Seahawks offense with Russell Wilson, and Cardinals can't match that. So
they got Russell Wilson and who though? That's it. It's just Russell Wilson there now.
Yeah, but he can make players look good. He can make players good. He's got that same ability that only a good few quarterbacks have. He made Doug Baldwin a thing. He made Jermaine Kearse a thing. So he makes the receivers. The receivers don't make him. So he doesn't need a good supporting cast.
Yeah,
he needs himself.
My only question is without beast mode, I don't know what their running game is like right now in Seattle. And if we've learned anything, even with a sharp quarterback, if you don't have at least a mediocre running game, it's going to hurt you in the long run.
Do you see that? So,
I know their quarterback, their running back.
If you saw that Super Bowl, you know they don't care about a running game.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But they got Cheeseburger Eddie now.
Eddie Lacy.
Yep.
Oh goodness.
Oh man.
They got him from what I saw. But okay, first off, from what I saw preseason, he slimmed down a good bit.
Well, he couldn't get any bigger, buddy.
That is true. But we saw that last season with the Packers as well, with Eddie Lacy when he was with the Packers. He slimmed down before the season, and then during the season, boom. And then he was injured. So that doesn't say anything, but they still got Thomas Rawls, who might bounce back. They got CJ Procise, who last season, at least did something. So I don't think their running game is that bad. And if I look at their O-line, which was their main problem last season, they got some reinforcements there. So I think they might be better off this season than they were last season. Easy division winner. And Why are you arguing against that? You both said the Seahawks are going to win the division.
I did. What I'm arguing is you said that Arizona wouldn't put up a fight, and that's what I'm arguing.
Okay. Yeah, but they got their O-line reinforced. They got some kind of running game that they need. It's a passing league again, and they got the best quarterback easily in that division.
Now, I warned you earlier. We don't need a reason, he and I.
Yeah, right. I forgot that.
And Monk, and I apologize. I always get your first part of your name totally screwed up. Hypnagogic Monk. Maybe it's because he keeps sneaking off and going to the concession stand and getting hot dogs. I don't know. How do you get fat during the season?
I just said cheeseburgers. He's a cheeseburger Eddie. But actually, he's a big fan of Chinese food. And maybe I'm pretty sure that in Seattle you can get a good amount of Chinese food.
Oh yeah, probably so.
So I don't think that was his best decision to go to Seattle of all places.
Chinese food don't stay in you long enough.
We'll see. He managed to organize himself some Chinese food in Green Bay. So
you go home now. You eat too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's next?
NFC South. This was another tough one for me.
Yeah.
I think any of the teams could actually take first in this division.
No.
However, I do have Atlanta in first. I've got Carolina taking second. I have New Orleans in third, and Tampa in last.
I actually totally agree with your assessment. That's exactly where I had them placed. It wasn't an easy decision by any means. But yeah, I agree.
Did I land in a parallel universe? What? You both just said the Buccaneers in last?
We did.
Yeah.
I have them in first.
Well, I did preface it by saying that any team could win that division.
Yeah. I have the Buccaneers in first. I think Jameis Winston is going to continue to play as, at this point, I would say stellar as he played last season. He's definitely grown over the last few years, and I consider him to be an elite quarterback now.
Ooh.
I personally do. I don't say anyone has to agree, but personally I do at this point. I think the Saints lost basically their only good receiver with Brandon Cooks. So it's going to be harder for Breeze to find. He will find many people, as always. You will find many receivers, like he always does. He gets his 5,000 yards again, like always. But the Saints still look one-dimensional to me, so I'm going to put them last. I think Cam Newton is going to bounce back from that horrible season he had. But still only third. And I put the Falcons in second. Matt Ryan, I think, is going to play maybe not as well as last season, but almost as well. But the departure of Shanahan is really going to hurt them. So I think they're going to take a backseat to the Buccaneers for this season and take second place. So Buccaneers, Falcons, Panthers, Saints.
Now, let me preface this, but I'm not the biggest Winston fan in the world. Wasn't even in college. But I will say he played better last year than I thought he would. But no, I still got him last, I think.
They've got him some weapons. He has a good running back. I think they have the potential to be up there this year. I just don't think they're quite there yet.
Well, I think they are, but we'll see.
It is. It's a tough one. It's almost like the NFC East. It's a toss-up. Take your pick.
I don't think that much, because I think as we saw the last few seasons, the Saints are always going to be in the back somehow, even though they got Breeze. If you don't have anything to support your elite quarterback, he alone won't do. I think that's the lesson we can take from the Saints. And well, the rest, yeah, Cam could bounce back and be as strong as he was in his MVP season. The Falcons could be totally fine without Shanahan, and the Buccaneers could see Winston be as great as he was last season, and with or maybe even better with the new weapons he got, and with the coaching and the play working to, or the players working together even better. So I just think the Saints are a bit out of there. I don't think they could win the division, but everyone else can.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
And now best for last, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I always save the best division for the last, the NFC North. Obviously, I have Green Bay winning the division. Detroit in second, because Minnesota and Chicago suck. And then
I agree.
I got Minnesota in third, Chicago bringing up the rear. I think they battle it out for last place.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I was up in the air a little bit about second and third, but I'd have to agree with where you placed them. And if you paid attention, Minding, I don't know if you heard the real pain in his voice to admit that Green Bay's going to take that division.
I
wait a minute. Time.
And it was very, very beautiful to hear from me.
Let's back up here a second, though. You have a toss-up between second and third?
I did, in my mind, yeah. But I come down on the same lineup as you did.
You think Minnesota can hang with Detroit?
Yeah, I think they could have, but I think they're going to be. As I sat and thought about it, I'm just saying I wrestled with it when I was looking at it in my mind a little bit.
Why did I agree to this?
Gonna, I think they're going to come. Honestly, I think when it's all said and done, they're going to come at least 2 games back of Detroit when it's all said and done.
I gotta back up Bloodwing here. I
what?
think. Okay. I'm gonna take this slow. Okay, Packers win, Bears last. I think we all agree.
That's a given.
That's very easy, and very obvious. But the thing is, if you look at the Vikings last season, they won the first 5 before they fell into a slump. If they managed to avoid that slump, I think they could hang with the Lions. They could have fuck. Again, I'm not a native speaker.
Right.
They could have been at where the Lions were, or maybe even better last season. But after their bye week, they just completely fell off. Only won 3 out of the last 11 games and ended 8-8. So if they manage to do better this season, to go more consistent, I think they could hang with the Lions. So, and to me, that really is a toss-up. I really don't know. I think maybe that the defenses might have Bradford figured out now. Since like he's only playing check down passes, then come on, that's not hard to defend. But it's tough. I also go with Lions in second, but I don't think they're going to be 2 games off. I think maybe 1, like 2 at the most, not more than 2. Maybe even 1 only. That's my guess. I see the Packers at about 12-4, maybe 13-3. If obviously if there are no big injuries happening, you can never account for that. But then you have the Lions maybe at I see them at maybe like last season 9-7. Vikings 8-8 like last season, but more consistent this time. They will not win the first 5. And the Bears at I don't know -1 to 17 or something.
You guys are out of your minds.
Well, tell us why.
The only weapon Minnesota has had, well, there's 2. One of them is hurt.
See?
He's going to start on the PUP list with Teddy Bridgewater. And AP is gone.
They didn't have AP for they had AP for the first game and a half, not even a half less. And they still managed to win 5 straight.
Okay, who did they win those 5 straight against?
One of them were the Packers.
Well, that's not saying.
I hate to say that, but that was the way it was. So, I have to look up the other ones. Give me a second. 2016.
Zenith. The Bears would go back in time to lose the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 was against the Packers.
Week 2 was against the Packers. Yeah.
Oh, they had 2 wins against the Packers before they went on that losing streak.
No, they had one. They had one, didn't they? I think they only had one. Like only week 5. Yeah, the Packers played the Vikings second time in week 16 or something. Yeah. Okay, I got it here. They won against the Titans, the Packers, the Panthers, the Giants, and the Texans.
Take out the Packers. Okay, maybe the Giants, but they're
I want to say the Giants. They beat the Giants 24-10.
I said maybe the Giants, but still bad teams. Panthers were bad. Texans were bad. Titans were bad.
Texans and Titans were, I wouldn't say bad. They were mediocre. Like the Panthers were bad, but Titans and Texans were mediocre. and then again, they beat the Packers. They beat the Giants, 2 playoff teams.
I'll give you the Packers. They beat the Packers, but that's
the Giants were a playoff team.
But I guess the Packers is the division game.
They went 11-5. Don't forget that.
I know they did.
Yeah, so don't take out the Giants there.
Yeah.
Packers went 10-6 just for comparison.
And it's a division game. As much as I what am I trying to say here? Division games, even with teams that suck, are always tough. Even Jacksonville plays Indy tough, and Jacksonville don't play anybody tough.
Yeah.
Inside the division, I think anybody can win a division game. So I give them credit. I'll give them the credit for the Green Bay. I'll give them credit for the Vikings or for the Giants even. But the rest of those teams were bad.
You want to tell me in a division game every team can win?
Any team can win a division game.
So you want to tell me the Browns can beat the Steelers?
Absolutely.
You want to tell me the Jets can beat the Patriots?
Absolutely.
You are out of your mind.
This is the part. This is the part that I've been looking forward to all day because I knew when you two got together on the NFC North, it was going to be fun.
I just chose like the 2 worst examples. No one in their right mind would say, "Oh yeah, sure, the Browns can beat the Steelers." No.
Browns
there
have been
are
bad
some
for
rules
years,
to
and they have
football,
beat the Steelers.
and some rules. There are some rules to football. One rule: the Browns can't win shit. Rule number 2: the Jets can't win shit. So they're not gonna win against the Patriots and the Steelers. This is obvious. We would need, I don't know, Christmas, Easter, and fuck, what else is there? Hanukkah. No, Hanukkah is pretty much the same as Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that doesn't pretty work. Much.
But what else do we have for I don't know, Labor Day, and some other holidays? We need all of them together on the same day for the Browns to beat the Steelers and for the Jets to beat the Patriots. Otherwise, it won't happen. And since this is not going to happen, yeah, I rest my case.
Any given Sunday.
That's
not in those instances. Come on. Anyway, we all agree on the ranking, though. So this is basically pointless. We all say Packers 1, Lions 2, Vikings 3, Bears 5th.
Just as a side note, didn't the Jets almost beat the Pats last season?
Came dang close.
Last season.
I'm just saying.
I gotta look that up.
It was like late in the season.
17-22, week 12. But then also you had 3-41.
Yeah,
in week 16. So that's not even close.
I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a normality. Oops. Shut up. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no. There are some rules to football.
It's not going to be something that happens every time they play. That's not what I'm saying. There's always that chance that in a division game, a team can win.
At the same time, you could argue, well, the Browns were damn close to beating the Steelers in week 17, but then again, it was week 17.
It was
24-27.
You play to win the game.
Yeah. Oh God, that was a long time ago.
Playoffs.
So that pretty much covered every division, didn't we?
Yeah,
yep.
I think so. So since we've covered the division, and obviously the division leaders go to the playoffs, thoughts on wild cards?
That's where it gets tough.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna let one of you all go first.
Okay, I'm gonna go first then. I think the wild cards are gonna go one to the NFC East, whoever is second there. I think one team is gonna be good, and the next is gonna be, or one team is gonna be very good, whoever that is. Could be anyone, and the second team is gonna be pretty good and enough for a wild card. And oh God, now this is where it gets tough. I think the second wild card goes to, sorry, Lions not going to make it to the Falcons. I got the Buccaneers at 1, so Falcons at 2. They get a wild card.
Okay.
But the Lions will be in the hunt.
We agree on one thing in that there will be 2 teams out of the NFC South that make the playoffs. Since I had Atlanta at 1, I've got Carolina as the number 5 seed. And it came down to either Dallas or Detroit for me for the last one.
Obvious choice for you.
Actually, it wasn't that obvious. I actually debated about that one for a little bit. That first 6 games without Ezekiel Elliott, if that stands, that gives the edge to Detroit. With Zeke, obviously Dallas is in.
Yeah. In your ranking system, I see that.
Yeah, I'd have to pretty much agree with that one. As it stands right now. I mean, as we've said before, it's so early in the season, it's really hard to tell. You get a few games under your belt, but given what they've done last year and what's happened over the off season, yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Okay, and then the AFC, huh?
Go for it.
If I look at the AFC and think about wild cards, I think we're gonna see a triple AFC West in the playoffs. I think we're gonna have the Chiefs and the Broncos with wild cards. I think this division is just too strong. If you look at the other second teams, you would have either the Bills or the Dolphins. In my case, the Dolphins. In your case, the Bills. Not gonna happen. The AFC North, I got the Bengals in second. Not gonna happen. And AFC South, okay, it's the AFC South. Not gonna happen, obviously. So Sorry, Blood, but you know it.
Hey.
With the Chiefs and Broncos, like they're proper playoff teams. So I think they're gonna go 5-6. Wild cards.
I almost agreed with you. The only thing that stopped me from doing that, I got Denver at 5. The only thing that stopped me is I think Denver beats Kansas City twice in the season. And since they play each other, I think that's going to hurt Kansas City's chances at getting into the playoffs. So I've got Baltimore at 6.
Okay.
Boy, that's tough. Yeah, I think. Gosh, honestly, it's tough for me to call. I'd have to say I can't see anything wrong with J Kid's assessment of probably what's gonna. And yes, that's a bit of a a tap out on my part because it's just so hard to tell.
The only difference for me between Baltimore and Kansas City is I think Kansas City loses both of their games to Denver. I think Baltimore splits 1-1 with Pittsburgh.
See, I don't think so. I think Baltimore loses both to the Steelers, and I think the Chiefs and the Broncos are going to split because, well, obviously in Denver, yeah, good luck with that.
Right.
But in Kansas City, that's the loudest stadium. Arrowhead is not fun to play at. So I think that the Chiefs, with that home field advantage, for 8 games, but they got a bigger home field advantage than most other teams in the league, apart from maybe Denver with their height, with their altitude, Green Bay with their weather. And I don't know, maybe also the Seahawks with their sound, with their vocal crowd. But you don't have that many teams that have such a home field advantage in one way or another.
Right.
So I think the Chiefs, and we see that last season or 2 seasons ago that both or that we had 3 AFC West teams that were at least awfully close to the playoffs if they didn't make it.
Yeah, they were very close.
Yeah. So I think this year they're gonna make it. They're gonna have 2 wild cards to the AFC West. I know it's rare. I know it doesn't happen a lot of the time, but I think we're gonna see it that season.
And just to answer your question, the next 6 minutes, I didn't give an assessment on the game, but I can real quick. We're going to lose. Colts are going to lose. I actually got the game on here next to me while we're talking, and it's already looking pretty sad. Although I am surprised that Frank Gore was suited up for this game. So. Yeah, Colts lose.
Well, it's preseason. Anything can happen. Any given Sunday.
Right. But it's
especially, I think that is even more true in preseason because, you have teams experimenting, trying out new things. So there's a chance.
Historically, Colts coaches have not taken the preseason seriously in as much as win-loss. Just doesn't matter as much to them. And a lot of teams are that way. Probably most teams.
Yeah, almost all of them. Like, who cares about the preseason win-loss record? That doesn't get you in the playoffs. You want to experiment. You want to test out how certain schemes work, how certain maybe pass routes work. If your receivers and quarterbacks are familiar with each other. Which running back might take the reins if you have an unsolved running back situation. That's the stuff you want to test. You don't want to go out there, oh, we're going to win no matter what. Yeah, you can play your starting team then, but nobody does that.
Yeah, still, as long as it's kept to sports talk or kept away from social commentary, you could talk hockey if you want. I don't know daggum thing about hockey. Nothing. So I can't contribute to that discussion.
Yeah, neither do I. Neither do I. I have no idea. I know the Mighty Ducks, but apart from that, no idea.
It's soccer on skates. No, thank you.
No. You don't get to insult soccer here.
Oh,
This is not going to happen. Not on my watch, okay? Soccer is better than that.
it's got to be better
Yeah.
than something.
We just don't care about it here in America for the most part. We just we like our football, we like our basketball, and some people like their baseball, and soccer just comes in way behind all those in our consciousness.
Yeah, even behind hockey probably.
Yeah.
But I think that might be my easiest career choice if I ever make it to the U.S. Soccer commentator.
Well, you're already got practice in that, if I recall.
Yeah, that's right. But in German, so I'd still have to get used to to covering it in a new language. But I have a bit of experience. But like obviously, my end goal is to be a football commentator, not soccer, but football. So we'll see how that works.
You could do soccer here in Germany and nobody would know the difference. Or in Jordan, excuse me.
Because nobody's watching.
Show soccer some love, okay?
I can't do it. Sorry, buddy.
I've often told J-Kid that he should be a commentator, but he usually comes back with, "No, they'd fire him," because he'd have to tell them how stupid they were.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we got through that. What's next?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Anybody out in chat got any questions they want us to answer? Or
Preseason, there's not a whole lot going on to talk about.
Yeah, and this will pick up. This will probably become closer to a 2-hour stream once the season starts. I hope to be able to show clips of games, but we'll see how that goes.
Cryptic says, "Your damn to me, your damn country is surrounded by hockey-loving countries." Kinda, a bit, not all of them. Like the Czech Republic, obviously, they're pretty deep into hockey. Poland, yeah, pretty much as well. Switzerland is, Austria is, Denmark, but France, the Netherlands, and Belgium, they don't give a fuck about hockey. So it's only the south, the north, and the east. So the west, like west of Germany, they don't give a fuck about hockey.
I'll make an admission here. The only time I watched any hockey games, start to finish, was in the 80s with our Olympic team that shocked the world.
Oh yeah. I mean, U.S. Versus the what's it called? USSR.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I would even watch. If the German national hockey team plays at some, like, if it's like a big tournament, I'd watch, obviously. But apart from that, like NHL, I don't care. German league, I don't care. The Russian, I think it's called KHL. I think the K stands for communist, but I don't know. No, I think it stands for Confederate or something, like in Russia, man. But I don't watch that, so I don't really care. Only the big events. What happened to Olaf Kolzig? I think he's too old. He must be like almost 50 or something. That's one of the old names I remember. I think the only name, but Continental is what the KHL. I still think it's communist. So, but Olaf Kolzig should be at about 50 or something. So he's too old to be a goalie at this point. But he was a good few people heard of him here in Germany, even though he played in the US and never. I don't think he ever really was that successful. And even if he was, it was hockey. But a good few people heard of him here. I certainly did. But that's over. We know. Oh God, what's that kid's name? There's one German kid playing right now that is pretty good. I think for the Pittsburgh. Fuck, what are they called? Penguins, I think. I don't know the name though, but there's this German kid that we sometimes hear about in German sports news. So there's that. But apart from that, hockey.
Beware
No
of
one cares here.
Beware of Darkness is I'm of the opinion that's hockey is just one big brawl on the ice, so I wouldn't know the difference.
I wish it was. More people would would watch it. Like, it's not. It's most of the time you're just what's it called when you put your eyes together, squint. You squint your eyes looking for the puck, not finding it, and at some point there's a siren, and you know, oh, okay, goal. I understand. Okay. There it is. Like 5 seconds after the siren, you find it. But yeah, no. Yeah, and you get massive fines now for brawling. So they made it even less fun. Kind of like the NFL.
Kripik has an interesting question. Which coach will get fired first in the NFL?
Wow.
I hope it is Jim Caldwell.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. But see, you got to understand, there's a lot more history than that, other than it being on his precious Lions. He was an Indianapolis coach before that, and oh gosh, he's not well loved here.
I think it's got to be Todd Bowles. I think that might be the easiest choice here, but I think the Jets they can't go on like this for much longer. I think Todd Bowles' time is almost up. I'm pretty sure that wait, is Chuck Pagano still the head coach of the Colts?
Yeah, he's got a 1-year extension.
Yep.
He's got this season
How?
to prove himself.
How? How the fuck does Pagano get an extension?
It's pretty much they extended him and placed the blame on Grigson, which I agree with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, you got to understand that Pagano is very well loved in this city, very much so. As a person.
Why? Oh, okay. Yeah. But his coaching sucks. I mean, sure, you can like someone, but if they don't give you the performance you want, you might befriend them, but you certainly won't employ them as your head coach.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that he's out after this year. I'm pretty sure they'll let him finish the year, but
yeah.
I think there's 3 coaches that are all fired at the end of the year. And we've hit on 2 with Pagano and Todd Bowles. I think Marvin Lewis is out of Cincinnati after this year.
I don't think so. Like I said, I think the Bengals are gonna be number 2 this season. But you two don't agree. But I think this is gonna save his ass, and maybe, just maybe. Well, I said they're not gonna make it to the playoffs, but maybe if they do, if I'm wrong and they do, and Lewis even gets a playoff win, he might redeem himself.
Kripik
I don't know.
Kripik is hollering John Fox.
He's hoping for that.
If the owners cared at all about Chicago, maybe.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, but they don't.
Yeah,
it came to a point where even the people in Chicago don't care about the Bears. So yeah, not gonna happen. John Fox is there to stay, and that's good news for everyone who is not a Bears fan.
yeah.
He's actually a really good coach. He's not a horrible coach. He's got nothing to work with out there.
Yeah. He's got Trubisky and Glennon. That tells you the whole story.
And those are just potential.
Yeah, well, Glennon is the current number one,
Right.
but that tells you everything. Like Mike Glennon is the current number one quarterback. I think at this point they could even hire Colin Kaepernick, and they would actually be better. That might be the one team where the hiring of Kaepernick would make sense as a starter. Wouldn't make sense, at least for, I don't know, 1 or 2 year deal to have Trubisky learn maybe more with Glennon than with Kaepernick. Like you would have 3 quarterbacks, Kaepernick would play, Glennon would teach Trubisky, and Trubisky would learn from Glennon. That might be the best distribution of skills there.
I don't know, Sil, why the Bronco fans would be mad. Did they have a game earlier today, maybe, or anybody know?
Not that I know of.
She's saying that she's
No,
hearing a lot of Bronco fans being mad today.
The Broncos are playing 10 p.m. Eastern, so there's still some good time before that happens. But I don't know. Maybe it's because they didn't get enough air.
And darkness, we beware darkness. I have to agree. That's here in my house. That's exactly what we call Cutler is Mr. Crybaby or Mr. Kleenex.
Yeah. I think we touched on that last stream or one earlier. I think your first stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that. He could get a job in the NFL tomorrow if he wanted to be a backup. But that's not what he wants to be.
Yeah.
He could get a job tomorrow if he would be willing to accept the backup role. Like maybe even in Indy. Like they need a quarterback behind Andrew Luck, so they would probably accept Kaepernick if he went into the GM's office and be like, I want to be your backup. Just, I don't know, $1 million or whatever the minimum is. And I'm fine. And he would get the job instantly.
I don't know about Indy. I would agree that, yeah, he might some.
Yeah, that was just an example. Come on.
Yeah. I know our owner, last year we had a London game. And who was it, son, that knelt during that London game? Can't remember, daggone it. But as soon as they got back to town, he was gone. He doesn't cotton with that very much.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a different story then. Okay,
yeah.
But, I'm pretty sure he can find a team. Maybe not Indy then.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, by the way, Cowboys lead.
I'm sitting here watching it, and yeah, I was going to say I agree on the quarterback play because obviously we're not showing any.
Yeah, I remember Tolzien. He was our third string quarterback turned starter after both Aaron Rodgers and fucking Seneca Wallace back then were both injured. Like Aaron Rodgers went down with, I think it was the calf at the time. And Seneca Wallace stepped up. Next game, Seneca Wallace injured. Nice. And Scott Tolzien played. We were so happy when he was gone.
Okay, Critpick says that the reason the Denver fans are in an uproar is if Paxton Lynch sucks tonight, Trevor will be the starting quarterback for Denver. It's Paxton's game to show he's the man, or else he's a draft bust. That's why Denver fans have our panties twisted.
Panties twisted. I like that.
So if he plays badly in a preseason game, he's a draft bust?
Apparently.
That's a bit much.
You know Denver fans.
And
Ever
so
since that Super Bowl they won, they completely went nuts.
And Sylvanus, I've tried to get, and I'm actually working on maybe getting some female guests on here. SDA talked about maybe coming on now and again.
SCA doesn't know anything about sports, does she?
She knows a little about football,
Oh wow.
or at least according to her.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Okay. I'm willing to listen.
Well, sure.
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt as long as she don't come in and she's a Bears fan. They will know she won.
Nah, she lives in Atlanta, so if anything, she's probably a Falcons fan.
All right,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. It's just that I would probably laugh in her face because Shanahan left.
Yeah, I have no trouble with females on the stream. I know some females that do know a little football. I also know a lot of them that just watch it to just see the guys' butts. But
see, in Germany with soccer, it's completely different. You only have women watching it for the men's butts, or well, almost.
my youngest,
sure, you have a few lesbians.
my youngest daughter will actually legit watch the games or try to, but she's married to a Pats fan, so it's kind of tough for her.
Oh, there's a lesson for everyone in the chat. Don't marry a Pats fan.
But when they lived here, I let him watch his Pats games as long as he watched it in the back bedroom.
Yeah, far, far away. Yeah, but if they're if SDA wants to come on, I'd love to join as well. Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear her talk about. I want to debate her on some football stuff.
Yeah, it could be fun. It could be fun. You have an open invitation, actually. You know, like I said earlier, I'm trying to work out a set panel, and maybe have one guest a week. And you know, if you'd agree to it, I'd really like to have you as part of the set panel. To be honest, I like our interaction.
Sure, I agree. Maybe I can't make it every week, but I try to. And yeah, sure.
Yeah, and besides, it's fun to listen to you and my son go at it.
That'll be happening a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trust me, I know him. He has fun with it too. He likes to argue as much as I do.
Yeah, but do you really want to see your son being beaten like that?
Oh, I don't think so.
Hey, we're only fans of our teams. I'm not Detroit in real life.
Well, I wish I would be living in Green Bay, but I'm not, obviously.
Oh Lord, no! It's too cold in Green Bay for me to live there. No.
Oh, come on! It's the perfect temperature.
It gets cold enough here in Indy. No thanks.
Yeah.
Don't even ask J-Kid, because he's the guy that keeps his, if he could, he'd keep his house 80 degrees plus.
Oh, come on! You are a monster.
It's probably like 75 in here, and I got a blanket on. I got 2 shirts on.
I gotta look up how like we're having everything in Celsius, so I gotta calculate what it is in Fahrenheit. It's about 60 Fahrenheit here, and I'm sitting here. I not completely naked, but pretty much. Like, at least I wear pants, but apart from that, not much else.
That is more than I needed to know.
Yeah, I tried to word it in the most PG terms possible, but it's hard. But yeah, like, I'm not wearing much. If it was 70, I'd have the fan running and blow right in my face.
I don't know where he gets it. From my grandmother. is the only thing I can figure, because I'm sitting here with a fan blowing on me and I'm sweating to death.
Yeah, I'm a cold weather person. I would probably be fine with living in Canada.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I think Wisconsin has pretty nice weather for me, for what I want.
Too cold for me. I don't like the really hot weather, but I really don't like cold.
Zenith said 70 Fahrenheit pussy. Yes, 70 Fahrenheit is when I turn on the fan and have it blow in my face. 80 is when I turn it to the highest what's the highest setting. Like 80 Fahrenheit, I don't move. It's
Yeah,
when
you
I
die.
completely abandon any body movement. Cryptic says, "Come to Colorado. Our weather is fucking awesome. We can't predict it." Yeah,
But then you would die here then, because here in August, we average probably mid 80s to 90s with
oh God, no.
humidity at least 60 plus.
Love it.
I would die. Nah, I'm sticking to Wisconsin. Maybe I don't know what else is up there. North Dakota, Montana, maybe something like that. What? 110 is a sunny day the next 6 minutes? What? 110 is death. Wow. No.
I've when I went to visit my daughter when she was stationed in Yuma, Arizona, it was crazy hot. No, I'm not a fan of that.
110 is 43 Celsius. No. This is the temperature we have in our saunas. Well, no, a bit more, but about 50 is the coldest sauna. 50 Celsius, that's 122. That's the coldest saunas we can get here in Germany. And no. You want to kill me? And hypnagogic, Celsius is used by anyone but the US.
Pretty much.
Anyone.
Pretty much. We got to be the oddballs.
Yeah.
Got to do our own thing.
Like the Celsius scale makes sense. Water turns to ice at 0 and water starts boiling at 100. This is a scientific scale. Fahrenheit is being like 0. Oh, that's mildly cold. 100, yeah, that's pretty warm. What the fuck? That's not scientific. Come on.
Well, they tried to teach the metric system along with the Celsius here over the years, but it's never caught on.
That's the only thing I hate about the US. You're not on the right side of science there.
Well, alrighty then. Were you out of football subjects?
I believe so.
Obviously, we're talking about temperatures.
We're talking about the
temperature. By the way, if we talk about temperatures, we got to talk about Tom Brady and his deflated balls. Because they are temperature dependent.
Yeah.
At the right time, they would be completely fine. They would be inflated perfectly. Probably at about 150 Fahrenheit or so.
Let's hope we don't play in that hot. All right.
Yeah. Except for Tom Brady, he can.
Yeah, and my team started that whole mess. So, all right. Looks like we're out of football topics. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Share if you enjoyed this stream, please do share it out. Invite your friends. Anybody likes football, they're welcome. I want to thank my guests, J Kid, my son, and Minding. And
Hey, real
I
quick,
think we're going to go ahead.
if you guys come up with questions, comment them on the video that'll be posted afterwards. It gives us a little bit of time since there ain't a whole lot to talk about in preseason. It gives us time to go through, build up our opinions on what you want to ask.
Yep.
Help us out a lot until we get to the regular season.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree. I'm glad you brought that up. I meant to say it and my memory went sideways.
No.
But yeah, I know it's hard to believe. Anyway, thanks to my guests. Thanks to everybody coming out. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.